I'm Andy with Competitive Cyclist. I'm here with my colleague Scott Warren, who is our in-house time trial and wind tunnel guru. Thanks for joining me today, Scott.
Thank you.
And as you can see, we're here with the new Ridley Dean. Aside from Dura-Ace 7900, Campy 11 speed, and its little brother, the Ridley Noah, this is one of the items that people are buzzing about the most right now. And I think Scott will agree with me, it's probably going to have a big part in this year's Tour de France victory.
It'll certainly play a part in the outcome, I think, of the eventual winner.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're going to do today, Scott's going to give you a guided tour of the Dean, and we're going to start at the front of the bike, work our way back.
The leading edge of the bicycle is always the most important part of the aerodynamic equation, essentially. That's where the wind is not disturbed yet, and you can really see the most improvements. As you can see by this frame here, it has sort of a very bulbous nose that slopes down quite a lot. That's going to really smooth the airflow coming into the head tube. And the depth of the fork and the overall design of the fork meant that the brake needed to be moved to the back side. It's going to improve aerodynamics quite a bit. Not just the brake moving to the back side, but the depth of the fork and the nose of the frame at that point. Additionally, you've got the R-Flow technology. You've got the slots in the fork, a la oval Jetstream, and then additionally, you can't see it on camera perhaps, but it has aerodynamic paint strips in certain areas to create a disruption really of the air and create a boundary layer. That boundary layer essentially allows air to flow over air rather than air flowing over a rougher surface. So the paint is actually a real important part of the R-Flow technology and what's going on here. There are certain areas on the fork and throughout the frame where there's actually what Ridley is referring to as aerodynamic paint. This paint is a little bit rougher, it has a texture to it. The air essentially is disturbed by the aerodynamic paint and essentially creates a boundary layer, so the air flows over air rather than air flowing over a painted structure. I was fortunate enough 2 years ago to go with Ridley, Cadell Evans, and a few other guys to the wind tunnel in Belgium, and that's really where this whole project started, was after the 2006 tour. Ridley made a commitment to design and build what they believe is the fastest bike available, and I think they've done a great job of that. So we went to the wind tunnel with the idea of reducing the riders and the bike's total aerodynamic drag. As you move further back, the curved seat tube and the shaping of the seat tube, if you will, is very important as well. It allows the air that's coming through there and getting churned up by the rider's legs to be smooth as it goes back onto the disc wheel, or in the case of somebody who's using a spoked wheel.
Now Scott, beyond that, if you kind of move up the frame to this section, you can't really see this on camera, we'll try to highlight this with a close-up. This bulges out significantly here to either side, and you've got more, it looks like airfoil is going on here. Tell us what's going on with that area.
Well, you've got really very smooth transitions here. It's a very complicated piece to make and design really, and that's why you can't sort of see it on camera from the side. But yeah, very smooth transition from this curved area back to the seat stays. Of course, in the seat stays we have more R-Flow technology, which is reducing the pressure area between the wheel and the frame and also redirecting air. And then, yes, you got this sort of seat tube area here, which transitions into the extended seat mast, which is aerodynamically shaped. Removing the conventional seat post and going with an extended seat mast in this particular case allowed a different design in this area that was aerodynamically faster.
Now Scott, I was lucky enough to spend a few hours in the wind tunnel earlier this year, and I heard them throwing around the terms clean and dirty quite a bit, and we actually got to see some illustrations of that when we were in the tunnel itself. What on the back end of this bike would you say is really clean and what is really dirty?
Oh, well, air in general, once it passes by the rider's legs, is kind of churned up. So in general, it's dirtier the further back you go. However, because Ridley chose to eliminate the brake here and move it down below on the chainstays, it helped clean up this area a lot and improve the overall aerodynamics and airflow through this area.
So the net result is this: the bike is extremely clean in the wind tunnel, and hopefully that's going to translate to being extremely fast on the roads for you. It's going to be available in 4 sizes, and if you have any further questions about it, please feel free to give me a call or send me an email at andy@competitivecyclist.com.